This is unprecedented times. We're in a pandemic. Our learning has changed. Our interactions have changed. Our economy's changed. And I want to look at the science behind COVID-19. So what I have done, as 10% of your course outline, of your course grade, I initially had it stated that we're going to do an open book test for research. Well, I thought let's research something a little more topical. And this is a research, and I wanted to be more of a discussion too, to share the information. And instead of it being an open book test on cells and tissues, I've now changed it to a research and discussion on COVID-19. So let me show you a little bit first where I have this set up at. So if you go to Unit 2 and you scroll down in Unit 2, I've put up a really good video about COVID-19 in case for some reason you have no idea behind the science behind it. Here's a really good one, and it's from one of my favorite groups called Osmosis, and they keep updating it. This is the August update. If you go back to March, no, when was it? Yeah, March when it came out. They have an introductory one, and it's interesting to see how it's changed. What I want to do is have the COVID discussion assessment. So here is what I'm thinking of. Now, I'm hoping this works. It sounds like a good idea, but we'll see. So we are in a pandemic. Our behavior's changed. We're isolated. We're increasing our interactions through technology. Our economy is affected. This assessment is to look at the science and the health issues behind the pandemic. I want the class to research topics on, and a general broad of topics on COVID-19, discuss them, post them, and then discuss them among the groups. Now, hopefully, I've divided you randomly into 6 groups. If I haven't, and you're seeing that there's more than about 10 people in your group, or you're not in a group, let me know. And this assessment is based on 3 different parts, and the 3 different parts have different due dates. First part, Part A. This is the original post. I want you to choose a topic, and I'll go to the topics in a bit. And first off, choose something you're interested in or you know a little bit about, and that makes it easier to start. Research the topic, looking at good scientific sites. So we're looking at the CDC. TED Talks are good usually. Alberta has a good COVID site, some health related site. Okay. And I want you to summarize the research in 2 or 3 paragraphs and then post it in your group. And please include a reference citation at the bottom. And I want this in APA format. And I'm told in your communication you need APA format. So to publish, you click on the post, the assessment, and then you will create a new thread and then type in your message here. Okay? Now, quite often this topic, this way of posting doesn't have a good spell check. So you may want to compose your 2 or 3 paragraphs on your computer in a Word document first, spell check, edit them, and then put them together. So I'm looking for good coherent analysis and summary. Now, again, at the level of this course, I'm not expecting you to become scientific geniuses, but I want you to be aware of the topic. And some of you have good science background and good healthcare background, and some of you don't. So I'll respect that, but choose it at the level that you know. And then you will post this. And that is Part A, create your own post, and then submit it. You can edit it if you wish, and I think I've given you a couple of tries in case something happens. Okay? That's the original post. Then, Part 2, or Part B, is, let me go back to Part B, is to comment on 2 of your group members. And this you have until the 4th to do. So I want you to read their articles or their TED Talks or the research they've done, and then reply to the original and expand on the information, ask questions, post interesting stories, something scientific and related to what they have. Okay? Now, each of those are with 2, and 2 times 2 is 4. So that's how you get 4 marks, by part C, replying to 2 group members. Then, sorry, part B is reply to 2 group members. Part C is to reply to someone who replied to you. So you're going to continue the conversation. And you have until the 6th to do this. And you can do it early, depending on how you're going. And I want you to expand on your information by replying to their post. If they asked you a question, try to find the information to solve that question. Okay? Now, I want you to look at referenced science and good cited material. So you can use Wikipedia to start your search if you want, but I don't want you referencing Wikipedia. I know there's a lot of TED Talks out by good sites. CDC, the Center for Disease Control, is a good site. Alberta.ab has a good site. Choose good. You can even use news articles by newspapers or reputable sites. Okay, I want you to pay attention to what a reputable site is. Don't get emotional. Don't cheat. Like BuzzFeed sounds like they've got a lot of stuff, but some of it is emotional and not science. Now, here is the list of topics. And I've also posted the topics in a link here if you want to print them up. And these are just suggestions that I'm thinking of. If you have a topic that's not on here that you think would be related to the science behind COVID and the health, and we're looking at science and health issues. So basically, what is causing the disease? What's the history of disease? Why is it named? What does raise the line mean? What does flatten the curve mean? What is a pandemic? Why is it a pandemic? When we're comparing data and all this testing, what's the good and bad of it? What are some things that have happened in different countries? New Zealand and Thailand, or not Thailand, Taiwan are success stories. Why are they success stories? What is the first wave? What is the second wave? Why are masks useful? Why are people not using them? Why is social distancing effective? Is there any experiments to support this? Why are there models? Describe the testing. Okay, so it's very open and general. Try and choose something in your group that hasn't been done, and you should hopefully be put in 6 groups of about 10 students each. And I want you to carry on a discussion among the students. And I'm looking for discussion with some scientific basis at this level. Okay? And then there is a rubric attached to this, and I will be marking it on a rubric. Now, realize that there is... the points will be added slowly. So if suddenly you get 3 points, that means I may have marked the first one, because I think this could become a marking nightmare for me because of the amount of work. But I really want the communication to happen, so I'm going to rescue it. Oh, and you can also make your own question. I want you to discuss about this pandemic. What are we doing? How are we doing it? And again, keep it on a science healthcare basis. What I think is interesting is, why are some people not complying? Like, why? Why is New Zealanders listening and people in the States not? Or another thing that'd be interesting is, if you are a healthcare provider, how do you convince other people? I had to try and, I'm a caregiver for my parents who were in the 80s. I had to go to some pretty tricky measures in order to get them to comply. Okay, so this is all about discussion and assessment and pulling in current events. I know it sounds huge, but I want it more to be an interaction on a scientific, health-based topics. Okay, hopefully that makes sense, and hopefully it works out. Now, I do want you to cite your references using APA formatting, which you have taken. If not, the library has a link on your main page to APA formatting. Let me show you that quickly. If you go to your main page, so the main Blackboard page here, you've got library, and then if you click on the library, there is citation guides, and we're doing this under APA. So here's some citation guides, and it actually gives you examples. Okay, so hopefully that's good. Hopefully we can generate interesting discussions about healthcare and economics. And hopefully I've divided you into groups. Okay, good. Keep working hard.